So I just watched episode 7. I'm about a week behind the current episodes. I gotta watch 8 now. But here's the cool thing: in between me watching episode 7 and coming up to 8, I just found out that Silo got renewed for season 2. So now I don't have to stress about it being a cliffhanger ending at the end of this season because we already know that we're getting a second season, which is awesome. Because we were, coming up on the 7 episodes, and I was like, is this 8 or 10 episodes? Because I feel like the story is just now starting to get good, but we still have, there's not a lot of runway left. Episode 7, best episode of the season, hands down. We're finally getting to see the fire behind the smoke in terms of a lot of these mysteries and everything else. And then we also got more mysteries, and it's just the storytelling here is like layer upon layer upon layer upon layer. I'm really loving it. They've done a very good job. No spoilers before the fold part, but obviously I do all the things. I talk about all the things. So if you don't want this episode spoiled, I'm a week behind. You should be caught up by now. If you're not, go watch it, then come back and talk. Countdown 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You've had your warnings. So, wow. So this episode honestly was the first time I felt like I got serious answers to some questions, but it also unlocked more doors of mystery. So, when we finished up the previous episode, we realized that someone's got cameras and they're everywhere and they're watching everything, including Juliette with in her apartment. But something came full circle in this episode from like I think the end of the very first episode when the previous sheriff Holston wrote down on his note and left it on the desk, double the flowers in front of the mirror. That part of the thing from all the way back there in like episode 1. Oh yeah, that came around in this episode because Juliette does figure out by the end of the episode that she's being watched and followed through some sort of camera tracking system. And the way this episode ends is a total cliffhanger, and you're like, oh my God, this is amazing. But we still don't know who's at the top of the top of the top. But we do know that Juliet by this point has figured out that there's definitely some sort of secret society shit going down. So in the process of all of her investigations, she gets led to the medical ward where she finds Gloria, the fertilization lady from Holston's wife back in the day, and the crazy lady who was like, the doctors are they're not actually taking our birth control out. They're trying to breed us out. And that was all supposed to be some conspiracy theory until, we found out that, oh no, it's actually legit. And Juliet doesn't know that at the beginning when she finds out that they've got this woman, Gloria. All she knows is they've got this woman in lockup in the medical ward, drugged out of her mind, and they are keeping her drugged because she knows something that they don't want to get out to the public. So that starts her down this path, finding out that Judge Meadows was the one who signed the order to keep her in there. And so she goes up the chain, hunts down Judge Meadows at her home where she's sick with something. She walks into the house and it's just full of relics everywhere, right? And all in display cases and stuff. And Juliet has this heart to heart and she's like demanding. Like, she's like, F you, Judge. I don't give a shit about who you are. I don't care about any of that. I want this woman released so that I can talk to her and undrugged. And the judge starts like single tear coming over. She's like, I can't. You don't understand. I can't. I don't have the authority. And here Juliet was thinking this is like the top of the authority. And she has this moment of realization. She's like, oh, so this is how it works. You get to keep your relics in your nice apartment in exchange for what? Keeping your mouth shut? That's rich. That's really, really rich. And so she just realizes that her whole life is a lie. And everything she's thought about the silo up until this point is completely false. And there's definitely something going on here because the murder of George ties into the murder of Holston, which ties into the murder of Marnes, which ties into the murder of the previous mayor and Holston's wife and all this other stuff. Um, as the episode is unfolding, we're also getting the chance to realize that the guys that um, we're running the maintenance program to watch everybody, right? The maintenance program, the vigilance program, watching everyone through the cameras. The guy they were referring to in the middle of the night is um, Common's character, and he freaks out once he realizes that Juliet knows about the cameras and he's like, send in the raiders now, there's no time to lose. Because this whole time they've been trying to track her down, and once he realizes that she's been talking to the old lady, Gloria Hildebrandt, and they see her in medical, he's absolutely terrified about the fact that she has this book. And then there's this moment when we come full circle to the flowers thing, because while Juliet is talking to Gloria, Gloria's like, I remember I have this memory of when Holston was here and there were flowers in front of the mirror and he kept messing with the vent. And all of a sudden, because remember she found something in her vent in her apartment from Holston, um, she realizes, oh, he must have done the same thing here. So she gets to the side, she throws a blanket over the mirror, and it pisses off Common's character. I need to remember his name. I don't remember his name in the show. I always just think of him as the leader of the Sims. Um, he's freaking out because he realizes that she knows about the cameras. And he knows that she retrieved something from within the room that he doesn't see because she blocked the camera. And his employees are like, "Oh, this is bad. She's got something." And he's like, no, what's bad is the fact that she knows about the cameras, and then send in the raiders now. And that's sort of where this episode gets left off, where um, they all swarm the room where the old lady is, and she's like, ha, screw you. And Juliet's nowhere to be found, but she's on the run now. And that's the cliffhanger ending, where we go, oh my God, like there's definitely something going on here. Now, I have to wonder how much the current mayor has to do with all of this, because he was the one who convinced her to go see the judge. And he was trying to spin this story of how the judge is the one behind everything and got to take her out, otherwise she's going to have control and we can't have that. And then after we see that the judge is just a pawn, it's making me question the mayor more and more. Even though he's said in the past, you're a great sheriff, I need you on my side. Really, like, I just feel like there's some sort of manipulation going on here, and I don't know what it is yet. Um,
But
What's up, everybody? Commercial break here. I got to give a shout out to our guild champions. It's the highest tier membership here on YouTube. We got Ancient Entity, Crazy as Relative, and Remy D. Thanks so much for your support. And of course, to all of the members here on YouTube, thanks for keeping me on the air full time. If you do like what you see and hear on my channel, don't forget to not only like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon, but please support. Consider me your Netflix, your Hulu, your Disney Plus, or HBO, whatever you want to call it. You can do memberships here on the channel starting at $3 a month. And of course, anytime you see me live or you watch a premiere, you can do super chats and stickers on those videos, and super thanks on any upload you see, which allows me to keep doing this full time and paying the bills. So from Chris and I and all of our rescue cats, we say thank you. Let's get back to the video at hand. Common's character is absolutely. I don't know if he's a. Here's the thing. I don't know if he's a bad guy or if 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 he knows something that we don't know, which makes him so desperate to hide and keep everything under wraps so that no one knows about the reality of what's going on outside and all this other stuff. Like, I just don't know. There's still too many answers. But one of the cool things that I felt that we got in this episode was the old lady finding out, or telling, the old lady telling Juliette about the Flamekeepers, the people who were from the rebellion and before, who kept the things that they weren't supposed to have to remind them of the times before. And the old lady talks about this whole thing about they're putting these things in the water to make us forget. And those of us who do remember, those of us who preserve these relics, are a danger to that. So they've been selectively breeding us out for all these years. Um, there's that going on, right? Which is a revelation. And then, like, Juliet's mother apparently had something to do with it, along with George's mother, because they knew each other. And even though Juliet's mother wasn't a flamekeeper, Gloria tells her it's because she had the spirit, but now it's on you because you got to take this thing. So what did she find in the vent in the old lady's room? It was the hard drive that they've all been searching for, which has, if you remember correctly, it had like all the records of like the silo levels, and that's where George found the um, the diagram or the map to the door below the silo, which apparently leads out or somewhere. We don't know yet. Um, so we got some answers. We also got more questions because more stuff got layered on top of this. But knowing now that I've got a season 2 coming, I see absolutely, even if it's just a 2-season run, Now we've got leg room, and it's like, okay, so we're going to get 10 episodes this season, plus maybe 8 or 10 for the next season. That gives us a chance to, you know, deepen these storylines a little bit, come to a resolution by the end of season 1, but not a complete resolution because we have to be able to come back for season 2 and figure out more about this. But we're getting closer. Um, but this is an episode where, I mean, I kind of on the seat of my on the edge of my seat the whole episode. Like, it was really well paced. Um, just you're feeling that noose is tightening around Juliet's neck because everyone wants her dead now and or found, and they want the relic that she has, and it's like it's all these people, all these conspiracies coming together, and she's in the middle of it now, and it's just like tasty, tasty, tasty stuff. Love to hear your thoughts. If you've watched the episode, drop them down below in the comments section. Like, subscribe, hit the bell icon, and I'll see everybody next time. I'm gonna go watch the 7th episode today or tomorrow. Try to get ahead of the next week's run. In the meantime, enjoy the episode, everybody. See ya.